Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to KVM World Travel Airlines. Well, I got big news today. Very big news. This is sensational. As you know, I've been looking for a small aircraft that I can use for my feeder flights. A very small airliner that can land in small airports, small runways, villages, and it can bring people in to the bigger airports so they can connect with their major flights and connections like the 737, the 747. So we need a little plane for our feeder flights. And I've been looking at a few, and I have made a decision to buy this one, the Beechcraft 99, available in the marketplace. I think it is lovely. I really like the look of it. As you can see here in these photos, it is sexy. It has lovely lines, lovely shapes. It's like the Porsche of small aeroplanes, really, I believe. If this were cars, this would be a Porsche. It just looks sweet. Now, this decision will be a little bit controversial. Okay, well, there will be those of you who hate it. And I'm going to explain why. You will probably love it or you'll hate it. And I'm also going to explain why I actually bought it. It's quite simple, really. It's a sort of a business decision for the airline. If I was going to buy a study level plane, one that I can get into all the systems and the depths and the details of programming everything, this would not be the plane you would buy. You would probably go with the CRJ or something like that. That is a study level plane. This is not a study level plane. I would probably put it on a very similar or level par as the 737 MAX when it first came out. It was not popular. People hated it. It had scathing reports and reviews. But as I've used it over the months, I've got used to it and I now love it. It's one of my favorite aircraft. And of course, it has been updated over time. And I believe that's what will happen with this aircraft. I found a couple of reviews on YouTube, not many there to be honest, and they were not happy. They were not good reviews, but they were taken like 7 or 8 months ago. Okay, so a lot of time have passed and this plane has been updated and it is getting better and better, just like the 737 MAX, I believe. It looks great on the outside, as you can see, but the inside leaves a little bit to be desired. But the reason I bought it is it's going to service our small towns and it can carry 13 passengers. Okay, so 13 passengers in a little plane like this is great. A little airline can actually make a profit from running one of these little twin turboprops airliners. Now, like the big fancy jets in Microsoft Flight Simulator, like those Lear jets, they take passengers. But those jets are very, very expensive to run and maintain. And for the small amount of passengers that you can carry, you probably would not run a profit. I mean, they'd be okay for charter flights, for business groups or businessmen. But for everyday passengers wanting to get into the cities, getting into the bigger airports, it would be way too expensive for them. Whereas this, you can run a little low-cost service with 13 passengers each trip, and you can actually make a profit. People can afford to travel on it, and that's what makes it perfect for my airline, for those little country regional sort of feeder flights. Now, there's things that I love about it, and a few things I don't like about it. I'm not going to recommend that anyone goes out and buys this. Because we're all different. I may love it and you may hate it, okay? But have a look at this video, and if you're looking for a little plane, you make your own mind up, okay? What you think and how you feel about it. But I'm definitely going to be honest, okay? And I'll tell you what I love about it, and I'll tell you the little things that I don't like as well. So today's video, we're going to not take this for a test drive actually, because I have actually bought it. It was only about 25 New Zealand dollars. It is not expensive. So for me, I thought it wasn't really a big risk. It's a risk worth taking. Like I said, I saw a couple of reviews on YouTube that were really bad. I found one that was really, really good. And I just happen to know that the plane has been upgraded over time. So it is getting better. And you know me, I don't follow the herd. Because everyone says it's terrible and they don't like it and they don't want to fly it, I don't care. I make my own mind up about it. It's my simulator, my planes. I fly it and I enjoy it the way I want to. I don't care what the experts and the big time YouTubers say, okay? I don't care a hill of beans what they think. If I'm having fun and I like it, that's the main thing. That's the most important thing, really. Okay, so let's take this little baby for a bit of a scoot down Main Street, and we'll see how it actually flies and how it looks up in the air. Yeah, so I hope you enjoy this little first flight of our original little aeroplane, the Beechcraft 99. Now here we are at Imperial Beach, and we are parked up, and thanks Mike. Thanks for offering, but we won't need you to push back today, okay? I'm just going to start her up and fly straight out. But thanks for coming over. Okay, cheers, mate. Cheers. Okay, so we're going to get in, we're going to start it up, and we're going to head just over to the other side of the harbour to San Diego, KSAN, which is our home base. So this is basically the delivery flight, just from where we met the agent, did all the paperwork, signed up, paid the money. And we're now just going to do a little short hop to take it home, and so you can see how it actually flies and how it looks. Alright, so let's jump inside. Now, shock horror, look at the cockpit. A lot of people will hate this. They'll say, oh my gosh, that is disgusting, it is horrible. Well, maybe it is. But I actually quite like it. I like the fact that it's analog. Okay, we haven't got the big displays like you have in the Boeings. We've got the little analog gauges, which I think is quite fun. I think it's quite good. I love the fact that it's a turboprop. We've got two engines, one on each side. I can see the propellers and I can see the engines. I look around over here. I've got the wing view. So that is pretty cool. In fact, there's a few other things. There's quite a few things I like about it. But I'm going to tell you what I don't like. The little ear fans up here, pretty low resolution. I don't like that. And I don't like that. Look at that panel up there. Those buttons don't work. So those ear fans don't look cool. I don't spend the time with my head up looking up anyway. Most of the time I'm looking at my switches and my gauges, and I'm enjoying the lovely scenery. I enjoy watching these engines and the wing views and those kind of things. So what else don't I like about it? The cockpit is quite basic. Now, one thing I love about it is I can turn right around here and I can see the cabin. I can see all the seating. 13 passengers can sit back here, and the seats look lovely. They look lovely and comfortable and cozy. It's real luxury, which is really cool. Now, if you want to be fussy, you can say the resolution's not that good. Some of the edges are straight and not always round and smooth as they could be. But you can find faults with everything, of course. But for what it is, I think it's okay. I like it. Not many planes on Microsoft Flight Simulator you can actually see the cabin with all the seats and everything. So I think that's pretty cool. Now the other thing that's pretty cool, all these buttons, most of these little buttons and little switches down here actually work. Just about everything you can see in the cockpit actually works, which is pretty amazing. There's the odd one that doesn't work, but it is really pretty cool like that. You got your radio and all your autopilots and things up here, which I haven't even looked at yet. I'll have a play around with those later. But you can see as I move my mouse over them, a lot of those buttons are all actually functioning. You got your throttle quadrant down here, your fuel mixtures, your flaps lever, and your throttle, everything down here, your trim, everything's all working there. So it's quite amazing. Actually, a lot of these buttons and switches and things actually do something, which is really cool. Now the other thing I like about it, if you have a look down here, I don't know if you can see it in this light, but the glass has scratches and marks on it. I don't know if you can quite see it, but the glass has scratches and marks on it because this is an old plane. I think these came out and around about 1985 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. but they are not new. They've been around for many, many years. They're a good old workhorse, okay, with the emphasis on workhorse and old, okay. But I think it's quite retro looking. It is quite groovy. So happy with it. I'm happy with the way it looks. It could be better, okay? Some people have said, oh, it looks like a plane from FSX, you know, it's that lower quality. But really, I mean, I didn't hate FSX. I still love FSX, okay? I don't hate it. There's some old aircraft in that game that I would love to transport over to here so I could have my favourite aeroplanes in the Flight Sim 2020 landscape and scenery. It would be great. So I don't mind if it looks a little bit low quality in places. The main thing you got to remember, especially in my case, is I bought this for the airline. Okay, it's functional, it's practical, and it's going to transport a good number of passengers, so I can actually turn a profit. And it reminds me of a car I bought once. I mean, one window didn't wind up and down properly. And I hated the location of the hazard light switch, but I used that car and I enjoyed it for years. And it didn't worry me that a couple of things weren't right on it, a couple of things didn't work on it. It was practical, it got me from A to B. I loved it and I used it, okay? And same with this. There are things I don't like about it, but it does the job. It's functional. It's going to do a good job for my airline, and boy, I'm going to make these planes work really hard. Okay, so let's have a go at starting this up and see how easy and simple it is to start up and get going. We make sure our handbrake is on. The fuel mixture, we open the fuel mixture here. Okay, also the strobe light we turn on, the rotating beacon light, we turn that on for startup. We come down here, we're in main battery switch. Okay, everything comes on. We're going to start our left engine, ignition, and starter engine. And there we go, it is starting up. That is not complicated. It is not rocket science, is it? That looks beautiful. There we go. Lovely. I love the sound of that too. Okay, let's get our right engine started. Turn on the ignition and the right starter engine. There we go. That one is underway. Lovely. That is looking beautiful. Just let those engines warm up and build up pressure. That will be pretty cool. Let's have a look from the outside. She is looking really sweet. I really love the look of this plane from the outside. Even if it does look a little bit like FSX, according to some people's opinion. I think it is cool. I like it. Everything looks good and is stabilized. We're going to take off the brake. Now, before we do anything else, we're going to have a look at our lights here. Now, most of these buttons work. I'm quite impressed. The pilot heat is working. Strobe light switch we should put on. Recognition light switch on. Landing lights off. Taxi lights can be on. And that's looking good. That's good. off the ground. Hopefully nothing untoward happens and it's a smooth little flight. Like every aircraft, when you start flying it, you need to spend the hours, the time, to get to know it. All the little details, all the little idiosyncrasies that each plane has, because they're all different. You just need to spend the time flying it and getting to know everything about it. Just like the 737, I had a lot of bugs and trouble and problems. The gear goes up, that's nice. There we go. A lot of trouble and problems with the 737 when I first installed it. Getting to know it, trying to figure it all out, how everything works. But now I run it like a dream. And I think that'll be the same with this. The longer you spend flying just one plane, the better you get at flying it and controlling it, because you start to learn all the little details and all the little tricks and tips and things that you need to know to make everything go more smoothly. So it takes time, basically. So far, this is very smooth. I am liking it. Rough landing, wasn't very good approach, but I haven't had a lot of practice with this plane yet. I need to practice for a few hours at taking off and landing and getting it nice and smooth, but it flew very, very smoothly. It was easy to control on the landing, just needs a bit of practice, and I can't find any fault with it, really. It's a lovely little plane to actually fly. So let me know what you think in the comments. I like it, but I can't recommend you go out and buy it, okay? Because I need to have a bit of time with it. I took the risk, I paid the money, I'm going to test it out. So I'm the crash test dummy, all right? I paid for it and bought it and took the risk so that you don't have to. I'll give it some time and some work and some practice. Make sure there's no glitches or bugs and it's reliable and smooth. And I'll let you know probably on the next video. But at this stage, I can't see anything wrong with it. I enjoyed it and I like it. So, right, we'll talk again soon. Thanks for watching and stay safe, everyone. Ciao.